Yo, what up? Wanted to do a post-fight special for UFC 220 real quick and a little bit of Bellator 192. So, just gonna get right into it because we had an absolute fail earlier. So, starting off, Aaron Pico against Does It Even Matter? Went in there and just bully beat down. Landed 2 left hooks to the body. The second one, just this dude didn't want to fight.
Straight dropped on.
I mean, for a second, it was so bad. I was thinking, did this guy just take a dive? But after watching the replay, it was like, okay, he did get lit up.
Yeah,
but
that was a filthy freaking hook to the body.
He got lit up, that's for sure. But it's a little weird going in there, so much on the line, and second punch to the body just crumbles you to the floor like that. Little odd, but I mean, he definitely got lit up.
Skeptical hippo, but yeah, at the same time.
Tad skeptical hippo face, but besides that, pretty solid W. I mean, Bellator clearly didn't want him to fall to 1 and 2. I mean,
went ahead and fed that dude to the absolute wolves.
Hey, it's the opposite of what his Bellator premiere was, because I don't know what they were thinking with that. I mean, he's got Scott Coker's gotten a lot of flack over that, but he basically said that it was Aaron Pico who asked for that fight, and not only that, but that he was trying to get somebody even like higher ranked, and that was like out of everybody he wanted to fight, that was the lower echelon out of everybody he was trying to fight. Apparently, who knows if that's true, but that's what Scott Coker's saying at least.
All I know is that friggin' hook to the body was nasty.
I mean, that friggin' left hook in his fight before that he knocked the dude out.
Shit, yeah, that was nasty too.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
clearly this kid has some potential.
And then after that, the Chandler fight, I mean, a lot of people were saying that they were pretty surprised he took that fight because the dude he's fighting is like an unknown, complete unknown. And I mean, what was he, 22-3? I mean, really, of course, record. People he's fighting
bigger than Chandler too.
Yeah, he was big, and his striking is legit. He landed that head kick in the first round, and then Chandler snapped into wrestle mode. But hey, I mean, a lot of people I was watching it with were saying, you know, if they like, oh, similar with the Steve, they like, oh, you know, desperation takedowns, like, hey, this is MMA, man. Like, all night, that was like the theme of the night with Rory, Chael, freaking Michael Chandler, and DC. Like that, it was all I swear, like the theme of the night was like technique beats power and like strength. Like
technique plus power helps though.
It's definitely an attribute for sure.
I was thinking about the Pico fight again. There's just
yeah.
Technique plus power is pretty devastating.
Yeah, the Pico fight not so much to me as far as like the guy he was fighting. It's not like that guy was an exact powerhouse. Yeah. But the other fights on the card,
was a showcase fight for Aaron Pico.
I mean, he came in at a 925 point favorite.
Have you ever seen crazier odds than that in a fight?
A few times,
yeah, like literally maybe.
Johnny Hendricks, Borrachina.
I can't think of another time.
The Johnny Hendricks Borrachina fight, I think he was like a damn near 1,000 point favorite.
When Holly Holm fought Correa, that was pretty.
Betch Correa, I didn't see what the numbers were on that one, but
I mean, it was pretty dumb.
Yeah, I mean Holly. Come on, I mean, that was a showcase fight for her, especially after that skid that she went on. She needed a W more than really anybody. You really can't need a W more than that.
Yeah.
Because if she wasn't Holly Holm, she'd have been cut.
Holly Holm, I swear, in her career, she's had the worst luck.
Ups and downs, seriously. Came in there, biggest knockout, maybe you could argue, of all time.
It's like
as far as like.
Not to get too far into it, but I mean, just real quick, like, you know, when she fought, oh crap, what is her name? She fought Ronda a couple times.
Back to Korea?
Nah, why is her name slipping me right now? She was,
Misha Tate?
Yeah.
You said a couple times.
Yeah.
Misha Tate.
She fought Misha Tate. Like, she was winning that fight the entire time. You know, got choked out at the very last second. Went to sleep, too. Literally was throwing punches.
Throwing punches while she went out.
Throwing punches, going to sleep. And then she had that other,
Jermaine Durandame?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Like, that was a weird fight.
That was a weird fight. Plus, I thought she won
Multiple times.
Twice.
She threw punches after the round.
After the bell.
It looked so deliberate, too.
And then nothing was worse. I think that was one of the worst performances when it comes to winning a fight I've ever seen. Won the fight. Nobody thought she won. Hit the girl after the bell twice. And then after the fight, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm so ready to take on the next challenge. Man, you're ready? Oh, well, Cyborg's ready right over here. Oh, my toe,
my hand,
and also
so
my
bad.
Achilles is a little sore.
Yeah.
I got a sore butt.
Holly Holm was too nice about that. Like, good lord, man, you could have. I mean, legit. Like, come on, you gotta take a point. Like, Holly Holm, that legit. But that's not even. That was not
after
a
the
loss.
second time. I mean,
Holly
come
Holm,
on.
I feel like did not lose that fight. She should have won that fight.
Even if
the second time,
I thought she won even without the disqualification or without the illegal strikes after the bell. Even without that, I had Holly doing the most damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Jermaine's best punches were after the bell. I swear, Holly says this, but I swear she might be right. I swear the judges counted those. Like, I swear that those punches after the bell swayed the judges. Like, the momentum actually counted, you know? Because it looked like you finished the round strong, but really you just hit her way after the bell.
Yeah.
And if the ref doesn't make it an official illegal move by giving you a point, I mean, what's really happening? I get so tired with them a million warnings. But even that doesn't piss me off nearly as much as the stand-ups. Herb Dean, what are you doing? I'm sorry, one of the best refs in the game, but what are you doing? When the grappler has the stand-up guy down, and not only is he controlling him, but that guy who's down and being dominated isn't even making a general effort. Obviously, it was because he was tired. I'm not questioning that the guy wanted to fight, but he wasn't making any effort to stand up, and you're gonna reward him by standing the fight up.
Are you talking about the Stipe Francis fight?
Yeah, he wasn't even he was burnt out, so I get it. That's why, but he wasn't making any effort to stand up, and you're gonna reward the complete lack of 0% defense. You're rewarding that. You're saying that if you show a little defense, we'll leave you on your back, but if you literally give yourself to your opponent and give them no resistance, they'll reward you with a stand up.
I mean, honestly, as far as the stand-ups go, I really feel like that should literally not come into play whatsoever, unless literally the person's not doing anything.
I mean, you can't make it a rule that it's not.
If you literally lay there for 3 minutes
with double underhooks and mount, in mount you got it, and I meant to say in guard, in somebody's guard with double underhooks. Okay, yeah, I get it. When somebody's doing that, if it lasts a long time, okay. But even in half guard, let alone side, to have the audacity to stand a motherfucker up when they're in side control, or I mean, you don't really see them stand them up and mount, thank God, but side control you see, and then up against the cage when it's sprawl position, you see people or turtle position. You see people stand them up way too often. It's that dude is literally on the brink of being knocked out at any second.
Honestly, especially in a heavyweight fight, because when he stood them up and they went back to the middle of the octagon, it was like Francis could land one punch and rock Stipe,
and you just changed the fight because that wouldn't happen.
100%. It's
that one time,
just let him keep going.
Luckily
that's part of the fight, man. You're interrupting the natural flow of the fight when you stand him up. You have to just let him keep going, regardless of what it looks like. It might not be the most exciting thing. You're interrupting the natural flow of it.
It looked like that's what was going to happen when he stood him up at the end.
I got nervous.
Yeah. He threw a couple bombs, and Stipe avoided it, thank God. But, I say thank God because I would have been, regardless of who you're rooting for, who wants to see that? oh, you're getting dominated for 4 minutes in the round, stand them up, and then that person gets knocked out. And it could have happened. Yeah, it easily could have happened.
I mean, if you're going to see that ever, it's going to be with Francis. Like, we saw what he did. Exactly. The guy has stupid, ridiculous power. Regardless of how tired he was, it only takes one punch. So, yeah. Definitely. I don't. As far as stand-ups, I really don't like them, to be honest. I get that the average fan, they don't like watching, the ground stuff. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, man, these guys, their whole lives are on the line with this. You know what I mean? Like,
money's on the line.
You gotta let it go, man.
They're pretty much.
And Stipe was controlling him. It's not like he wasn't doing anything. He was throwing punches. Maybe he was slowly, but trying to get the better position. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he only did that because it was the very last round. Like,
you're not Conor McGregor.
Stipe took Francis down multiple times in different rounds. He never did that at all. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, in the very last round, it was like, oh, the fans need to see like a big finish. Let's go ahead and stand it. No, like, I just feel like it's weird, man. Like, it's just a forced thing. It's not natural.
It's a sport at the end of the day, and it's mixed martial arts, not cage match to the death. Like, if you don't want to see that, if you just want to see violence, don't buy the pay-per-view. Stay home. Get on YouTube. Look up street fights. You're good to go right there. If you want to see a mixed martial arts fight at the highest level, championship fight, like, then this is what you're gonna get. If you see a guy who's got a 40-pound weight advantage and he's a striker, the other guy is going to take him down. If you didn't know that was gonna be the game plan already, welcome to MMA. Like, you've been missing out. But that Stipe fight was great. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I'm into it. I like seeing the style matchup, stand-up fighter versus the grappler. And, I mean, if you just want to see people get knocked out, go on YouTube. Watch some street fights. If you want to watch MMA at, like, the highest level there is, then buy that pay-per-view. Or, buy a pay-per-view. Or watch the fight nights online. Whatever.
I feel like you gotta appreciate what works. Like, yeah, somebody taking somebody down and holding them there, yeah, maybe that's not too, like, visually appealing. Maybe it's kind of boring to look at, but it's working.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
If it works, you should do it. You shouldn't be doing bad.
Fucking get up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just go, like, to the extreme end of the spectrum. Like, let's say somebody literally is holding them there, and let's just say, literally, they're not throwing any strikes, nothing. They're literally just laying on them. All right. Well, the other guy should get up.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So if you can make that argument, like, there shouldn't be any stand-ups ever. Like, get up.
Exactly.
Like, the shit's working. The guy's holding you down. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I don't think there should ever be a stand-up. I don't get the reason for it.
I guess just to, give the people that paid that paid money to come watch the fight, give them the best show possible. But you got to think about the fighters, man. There's so much in the line.
Yeah, if you're not Conor McGregor, if you're not in that 1%, then, like, you need that belt. If you don't have the belt, you're not making money at the end of the day. So they can't just be like, people want to make fun of, like, Tyron Woodley when he goes out there and doesn't try to finish every fight. But I mean, at the end of the day, that if he loses that belt, he has nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, the Stipe fight, that was crazy. I definitely didn't expect it to go to a decision.
No.
The last thing, I'm pretty sure that's the last thing anybody expected, honestly. I mean, most people thought Francis was going to win, but I mean, even the people that thought Stipe was going to win, I doubt they thought it was going to be a decision.
Yeah.
I
mean, who saw that coming?
I was really surprised. I mean, a heavyweight fight in general, going all 5 rounds, that's crazy enough. But, like, Stipe and Francis, that was literally the last thing I expected.
I mean,
the only way it could have gotten any crazier was if Francis won a decision.
Yeah, there was no way that was
the only way it could have possibly been any crazier.
Stipe just came in there smart, and he actually executed the game plan. Like I was saying earlier, I swear the only champion you've seen go in there and consistently, like, do what the smart thing, like, execute the game plan regardless of what anybody thought, consistently, especially in big fights like that, was GSP. Besides that, people get in there, even if they're the grappler, they end up just being like, I mean, I just want to give the fans what they want and go for blood every time. I mean,
Justin
at least
Gaethje style.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
and yeah, speaking of which, Justin Gaethje, can't wait for that. It's gonna be insane.
That's a cool fight, man.
Yeah. But I know most people had to. I know most people probably missed the Chael Rampage fight because they were watching the UFC. I know I did, but that looked like the same way. Rampage coming in there enormous, has to finish him early. Chael just weathered the storm, out wrestled him. I mean, that's what happens when you're one dimensional. I mean, everybody kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Besides the people who just thought Rampage was going to be too big, but
I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have knocked Chael out. But
no.
I'm
same thing
at
as
the same time.
fight.
I'm not surprised that Chael just basically wrestled him.
And the best example,
it actually is kind of surprising though, because man, Chael's not a heavyweight. Can we just get that out there?
Yeah.
Chael's a light heavyweight.
If that, he's a middleweight.
Yeah,
really.
He's definitely not a heavyweight. So
yeah.
And Quinton came in weighing like, what was it, like 250 at least?
Yeah, 255. 255 is what he weighed in at.
And he took him down.
Yeah.
So you have to give Chael some credit, man. Like this guy's a good grappler.
He's a bloated 215 or whatever he weighed in at. Like that's not even what he should have been at. He even said like he should be at like 207.
Yeah.
But
we'll see who Chael fights next. I mean, who knows?
Fight of the night, I think, had to have been that Rory Douglas Lima fight. Man, it was so back and forth. Like it was mostly a grappling fight, but man, like back and forth with with the sweeps. Man, I think it was the second round. Rory it looked like he might be close to finishing him. Is in the full mount. Then Douglas Lima sweeps him, gets in his mount, and is just wrecking him with some like hammer fist from top. It looks like there's like 3 minutes left. It looks like he might finish Rory too. And at that point, Rory's nose was leaking. So that all the commentary, of course, was about Rory's messed up nose. He just had like surgery recent on. He's had like 3 surgeries on the nose ever since that Robbie fight.
Robbie Lawler fight.
Yeah.
One of the greatest fights of all time.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest.
Momentum changed like 4 times in the round, dude. I want to say it was the 3rd round. Might have been the 2nd. I think it was the 3rd. And it was just a back and forth. Like I didn't know who was gonna win that fight until the 5th round when it just looked like Douglas was just too tired. I mean, apparently he cuts down from like 210.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that cut's gonna get to you when you're doing 25 minutes of fighting after you cut 40 pounds. So I mean, that's just is what it is. But
Rory was looking good in the clinch.
Yeah,
he was pretty much controlling the entire
clinch
time.
was everything, man. It was surprising in the first minute of the fight. Douglas grabbed him close to the fence and put Rory's back on the fence, and then right away Rory transitioned and put Douglas's back on the fence, and he made it look so easy. And he was so much smaller. I mean, not so much smaller, but like, man, Douglas is big as shit. Like, Rory's not like a small welterweight by any means. He's like he looks like a welterweight, but Douglas is like a goddamn middleweight. Like, he could fight at middleweight. He's enormous. So, I mean, seeing Rory put his back on the cage, it was just honestly pretty crazy. He was fighting for them underhooks the whole game, giving Dominic Cruz exactly what he loves to see. And that's the whole game. The whole fight, just fighting for those underhooks. I mean, he just double unders, put him up against the cage. He did that like probably 50 times during that fight. And people give Dominic Cruz bullshit for saying underhook city like 24/7 and Rory shit for engaging the clinch so much, but it's like, dude, that's what's working.
Yeah.
Like, every time I clinch this guy, it's working. Why would I not clinch him?
Right.
I mean,
Rory could go up to middleweight, dude.
I think they both could. Fun. They both could go up to middleweight, honestly. Shit, especially Douglas coming off his loss. Man, freaking let Rory shine for a little at welter, unless you're gonna give him Douglas a rematch, but I mean, they probably want to give Roy some fresh blood.
Let's be honest.
It was a good ass fight, but yeah, they want to give him some fresh blood. Let's be honest, they kind of wanted Roy to win that one. I mean, worst case scenario, he loses. You make it the Bellator, the guy look good. That's
Scott Coker straight up said in the press conference that Rory's gonna be a busy dude this year.
Yeah,
they got big plans for Rory.
Oh yeah,
so I'm pretty sure low-key they kind of were, maybe rooting for Rory. Just a little bit,
yeah.
Just like I kind of think the UFC was kind of rooting for Francis. That's why I was so happy to see Stipe come out with a win, man.
Yeah.
I try not to be biased in fights, but this time it was just like, man, I felt like Stipe was getting slept on.
Yeah, for real. I've been saying it all week. I can honestly say that, and it doesn't always.
I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt for Stipe.
It doesn't typically work out that way.
A lot of good guys at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Like, man, these guys, dude. Like, it takes one punch and it's life changing.
Yeah. People are saying like, oh, he knocked Alistair, he knocked Andre Arlovski. It's like, dude, look at who Stipe has knocked out.
The same dudes.
He's knocked out the same dudes and more.
Maybe they weren't as decisive.
And he's been
maybe Francis knocked out Alistair. It was pretty ridiculous. I get it. But, dude, literally, I mean, Stipe it was a tougher fight against Alistair, but he still knocked him out.
Exactly.
All the guys that Francis was beating, Stipe had already beaten them. Like, for whatever reason, I don't think it's just because maybe Stipe had kind of maxed out a little bit as far as his star potential. Maybe. I don't know, man. After tonight, who knows? Because
he slayed the dragon, man. Yeah. He slayed the dragon.
Francis had so much hype. I think Francis kind of bought his own hype, too. He came out swinging in that first round. I think he probably punched himself out straight.
And at the press conference, it was surprising.
I could tell.
He actually talked some shit during this fight, dude. Don't lie, Stipe.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
He was kind of buying his own hype a little
bit. He was definitely buying into his own hype, and that's never smart.
Nah. And he was putting his whole life into his punches, and you could tell after the first round he was already breathing out of his mouth. I saw it. He had his mouth open after the first round. I was like, oof, I don't know, man. Against Stipe, that's not good. I mean, I think Francis has a really good career ahead of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually becomes the heavyweight champ.
Man, he needs
he was just.
It's not even the grappling. He needs to work on the striking too. Like
there wasn't a whole lot of technique there.
Sloppy. He just looked like a big, strong. I hate to say it, man. I don't like to say shit like this because it brings the sport down. Yeah. But honestly, the reality is there was not a whole lot of technique on that.
There was a whole.
It looked like a really big
260 pounds. I'm just gonna throw my freaking hand at your face.
I mean, and it was working. Some of this, the sad part. It's like it's almost a win for MMA because it was like Stipe was using technique. He had to use so much technique to be able to get by because all Francis has to do is throw his arms at you, and if those bricks touch you, I mean his hands are this big and he weighs 200 and let's be honest, damn near 300 pounds. He's cutting to 260.
Shout out to Stipe's chin though, because he did. Francis
both
landed
of
a
them.
couple.
Yeah, they both.
Francis landed a couple of big ones, but ones that probably would, if it wasn't a heavyweight, night.
Yeah,
and Stipe ate him and kept coming forward and was grappling and just. Dude, Stipe didn't stop. Shout out to Stipe's cardio, too.
Seriously.
Man, for a heavyweight, dude, he literally did not stop.
You could tell he was tired,
dude, at the beginning of all 5 rounds, if you noticed, at the beginning, he was hopping. He was hopping around. I don't know if that was him just kind of, like, trying to, like, maybe get into Francis' head. Like, I'm not tired.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. Let's go. But he was literally, like, bouncing on his feet, like, at the beginning of every round.
Yeah, while Francis came out for the second round with his hands on his hips and shit.
Dude, in the 5th round, his hands were, and I don't know about before that, but I clearly remember the 5th round thinking, damn, Francis's hands are literally down.
Yeah.
Like, he's so tired, he can't even raise his hands up at all.
I mean, he wasn't even hiding it. He was talking to the corner, or the corner was talking to him, and he literally looked like he was about to cry. This man was, like, done.
Yeah.
But... I mean, shit.
Even after
you're carrying around 300 pounds.
He was having trouble getting up.
Yeah.
Stipe would bounce up, and Francis would kind of like he would.
I think it was the 4th round.
Solid 5 seconds to like stand up.
He laid down after the end of the 4th round for like 5 seconds. I was like, "You got to get up and go to the corner, bro."
Yeah. Shout out to Stipe, man. He looked great tonight. I was pumped for that fight.
In DC, like people were sleeping on him. People were saying that there was going to be an upset time too. I mean, they didn't sleep on him like they slept on DC or slept on Stipe, but I mean, I still think DC came in a slight favorite. But Stipe was actually an underdog as champion. You never see that, but
he was on the verge to break, which he did, break a record in the UFC. He was. That's how much hype Francis had.
But DC, fucking 38, young gun, size advantage, beast, knocking everyone out in the first round.
No time.
He came in hot too. He came in hot. Man, he was throwing heat at DC. He was throwing some body kicks. DC threw some nice kicks too, actually. He was trying to catch him off. He threw a head kick at one point that almost caught Volkan. But it's pretty wild. I mean, obviously we've seen DC throw head kicks in the past, but when he throws it, it's always like you don't see it coming because obviously he likes to keep it boxing. But
I love DC style, man. I always look forward to his fights.
Hell yeah. How could you not root for DC, man? It's hard to not be biased. But
I kind of was, just because I've followed DC's career. Yeah. And I mean, let's be honest, Volkan came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of hard to.
I mean, sometimes I like to root for the underdog, but it's, dude, how can I root against DC?
But at the same time, I was like, is Volkan underdog? Like, what's going on? Like, who is?
Yeah,
this
I mean,
dude?
it definitely looks like they're trying to, like, there was a potential of a changing of the tide, like.
Yeah, maybe, know. But it was like we.
Yeah, the size. He obviously has the age. He has the hype and the hot hand right now. Like, I definitely could have seen it happening, but at the end of the day, like, same with the Stipe. He just had more ways to win the fight, and I mean, at the end, talent's gonna beat that strength and power, and you know, just physicality. Like that's not enough. That's enough. Like getting there. Like I'm sure Volkan was knocking everybody out in his amateur days, and then on the way up, we know he did. But when you get to like DC, fucking, you know, John Jones, RIP. All the friggin', you know, the elite fighters, you're not going to get away with that. Like, you're not just going to bum rush DC and knock him out in the first round. Like, he already knows that's your only path to victory. He's not going to let that happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. DC got the fucking one of the best chins in MMA. So, it was a great card.
Low key root for if I don't have, you know, if I'm not like a personal fan of either fighter, I always kind of root for the guy that's way smaller for some reason.
It's hard not to. I mean,
but DC is always the smaller dude. So when I see like the smaller fighter win, I don't know, man. I always think that's super cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I like DC, man.
He's definitely pretty much the, you know, whoever he's fighting has a size advantage almost every fight.
Right.
Yeah, he's stocky as shit, but
anyway.
It don't matter. Like. It would be better. Like, those guys have a clear weight advantage. I mean, John Jones, fucking massive. Like, for a light heavyweight, like, what the
He can easily
when he was jacked at DC? Yeah. Oh, my God. Shit. I think he could. He's Stipe's, like, he would be Stipe's biggest threat in the UFC, I think. For sure. Honestly, a jacked ass John Jones would be Stipe's biggest threat.
That's a problem.
Because he's good everywhere.
I would like to see that, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that was apparently the fight, dude. Yeah. They said that it was going to be Brock. Brock and Stipe were his next fights. Dana White said.
John Jones and Brock. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Just take my money now.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Let them
I was about to say.
Fucking girls.
Do whatever you want.
I don't care.
Here's some human growth. Take what you want. Yeah. Just give us a fucking insane war or whatever, as long as both of y'all are in for it.
I just don't know if, man, Brock is so goddamn big. Like, if Brock got John Jones down, can John Jones get up?
If he got him down once, I don't think he'd be able to get up. But it would be like, can he get him down without literally... Like, I know typically you're going to go with the grappler in that. Like, if the question is, can they get him down instead of eating that one strike? Yeah, typically they can over the course of a fight. Higher chance than that than to just get flash KO'd. But I feel like John Jones is the exception. Like, he doesn't just have to knee you or do some, like, put his whole life into one strike. Like, he could just, like, any of his strikes have the potential. You know, he could elbow. He has enough power in his hands to sleep you. Yeah. He's got knees from your boxing range. He can knee you in the head. So it's like,
if Brock gets you down though, man, it is so hard to get
I mean, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. In the stand up though, obviously, Jones has an advantage.
Oh my
Brock
god.
Lesnar's stand-up is pretty bad.
It's pretty hard to watch. It's it's.
Remember when he
pretty-
fought
ugh.
Kane?
Yeah, Kane just
Oh my god.
bully beat down. You talking about bully beat? You talking about the last episode that ever filmed a bully beat down?
I mean, that was just crazy. Like, literally, Brock like did like a full 360 across the entire octagon, and then got up and got beat up some more. And Kane is a small heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly. That Kane's always fun to watch because he really was the first heavyweight that was like. I feel like at least in like the I really feel like he's the first heavyweight like that with his type of resume that was like undersized like that. Like he's small. Kane I could see as a light heavy if he really like wanted to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he was shredded.
Nah,
Dude.
dude.
Clearly he had some weight he could lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I mean, what he weigh, like 225, 230? 240 maybe?
I don't think 240, dude. That sounds like pushing it.
Yeah.
I've never like looked that up, but probably like off the eye test, probably like 230. Yeah. Somewhere around that.
Small heavyweight. And arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think Stipe is now. Yeah. After tonight. I mean, he has the record at 3 for most title defenses at heavyweight in UFC history, which just goes to show you how crazy that division is.
Exactly.
Only takes one punch with those guys. But glad to see Cormier won. Glad to see Stipe won.
For sure.
I was happy with both of those.
I can't lie. I had to just don't sleep on the champs, man. Like I don't think too many people slept on DC, but people.
I think low key DC was definitely the favorite.
Yeah, I mean he came in at like a 200-point favorite.
Oh really?
Yeah, but Stipe actually legit came in as the underdog. But I mean,
that's so weird.
Yeah, it's champion coming in as underdog.
Who
but
makes
I mean,
these odds?
Shit. A lot of times they're pretty close, but I mean,
that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
this guy's on the verge of breaking a record.
Hype. It's also recency bias. Francis just sent Alistair into orbit like only a couple months ago, so.
And Stipe, he doesn't really do a whole lot as far as like the media and stuff like that.
And his wins aren't like like to people who don't pay attention that they don't see like they don't see that Conor McGregor shit. He's not on Instagram calling people out. He just goes in there, wins, goes home, goes to his fucking day job at setting.
He's literally a
fucking firefighter in the day, and goes and just time to be the baddest man on earth now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fighting fires by days, beating up 300-pound men a night. Fucking ridiculous, but
he doesn't take a whole lot of damage either.
Nah, I mean he gets hit, but
he got hit a couple times tonight. Yeah. He didn't get hit that much.
And so
his fights back in the day though, with like Junior Dos Santos, they had a couple fucking 1-2 wars.
And I mean, Junior Dos Santos kicked the shit out of them, but didn't land too many punches. In the second fight, and then in the Overeem fight, he got sat down. Actually, he got sat down.
Was a straight piston. Came out of nowhere. Like
I want to say
Overeem was kind of like running away a little bit, then all of a sudden he turned around, was just like and threw a straight, and it just landed right on the chin of Stipe. What's up with Overeem? He was kind of like running away randomly a couple times.
Yeah, Overeem. That's his new thing. Ever since USADA kicked in, he likes to run. Just turn his back and run away sometimes. But I mean, hey, do what you do as long as you don't get finished. I mean, it was so weird to watch Stipe knock him out from his guard.
It was kind of a weird looking knockout.
Just a straight punch from the guard knocked him out. Yeah. You literally never see that. Right. Like he just postured up inside the full guard and knocked him out with a straight right. Like no, typically it's hooks on the ground. No, straight up cross while in somebody's full guard. It's crazy. But you don't want to. Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna do a Periscope. It's the same username, the MMA Bros. So we'll see you on there, and we'll be back on the next one. So till then, we'll catch you on Periscope, and our links are on the description on the video below. All right, y'all. Peace.